It is January the 31st, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Rec site. And the word for the day was rough. We had a really strong swell that was coming in, pretty strong southerly winds, upwards of 20 miles an hour today. The lunar cycle, full moon just passed, and we had some abnormally high tides well over the bar that's to the south of the ship, and the swells just rolled in. It was not a pleasant day on the water. That said, we didn't spend a whole lot of time out at the site. We got out there. The chains were tight. It looked like they were cutting. I'll bet it was slow. And we turned and slowly made our way back out of the sound. We got some pictures here, a video back, looking back at St.simons, and you can just see how these swells were coming in over the rocks on the south end of the island, and just really pummeling that part of the sound. It was just a rough day. Well, that said, we started searching for some calmer waters and decided to head over to the port of Brunswick, where we saw the roll-on, roll-off cargo ship, the Patriot, was over at the Colonel's Island facility in Brunswick. This is where all the roll-on, roll-off cargo is moved, and we decided to go over and take a look there and show you guys about this area. Of course, this would have been the last place that the Golden Ray would have been loading and unloading its cargo. And we thought you guys might appreciate a little bit of the sights from the actual operation of loading and unloading the vehicles. And one of the things that's kind of amazing people are going to see here once we get around there is on the other side of the ship is some just really huge earth moving equipment. And this, all part of the stuff that moves goes through this port. And there's really no telling what might be on one of these ships at any given time. But you'll see some really large, really huge earth-moving equipment that is on the dock. Looks like it's preparing for its turn to be loaded onto the Patriot while she was in port. But we saw the operation of vehicles moving on and off the ship, and of course using that rear ramp. It's contained onto the ship, and as they are tied up in the port, the ramp is deployed and gives the vehicles access to get on and off the ship. You can really see how expansive this area is, this holding area for all the different vehicles that are moved through the port. Even saw some boats, some smaller pleasure craft boats on trailers that looked like they were being prepared to be loaded onto a ship for transport. So it's hard to tell what might be on one of these roll-on, roll-off ships. The cargo can be pretty much endless. And of course, out in the distance here, you can see the VB 10,000 over the Golden Ray at the wreck site in the St. Simons Sound, visible from the Colonel's Island facility in the Port of Brunswick. Now, back over at the Mayor's Point Terminal, closer to downtown Brunswick, in the area where we think that car recycling operations look like they're gearing up to happen. Again, we see the section of dry dock that was bought into Brunswick, along with the Caitlin, a couple work barges, the Cheetah is on the other side. A lot of activity was going on in this area. A lot of the work equipment that we've seen either out at the site or over in the port was kind of staged here. And we can only assume that this is in anticipation of upcoming activity. So yeah, we're thinking this place is going to play a big role into probably processing some of the vehicles, more than likely those that'll come out of those center sections of the ship, the pieces that will be placed upon these dry docks and brought into the Port of Brunswick for what we're thinking is going to be unloading and processing there, rather than have that amount of weight in those center sections where there's not as much structure, stability of the ship before those pieces leave to go over to Gibson, Louisiana for the ship recycling. And we also got to look on the deck of the Ashton T. That's the crew boat that services the VB 10,000. And we could see some of the anchor chain that was stretched out on the deck of the Ashton T. And we thought we'd bring some of this video to you guys so you guys can kind of understand the size of this chain and to see that it's really just hardened anchor chain and nothing other than that. There's no special cutting abrasive or anything like that on it. It's just anchor chain. And the commercial crab boats were out today, pulling crab traps, catching blue crabs. Caught one today in pursuit of the ever feisty blue crab. Thought we'd share some of this with you guys. For those of you that love blue crab, that's where a lot of it comes from, right here. And just kind of brings into perspective the removal of the wreck, and just to understand that activity has taken place about 2 miles from where this video is being shot. And if things go badly at the wreck site, a lot of people could be affected by it. Well, hey, that's about all we've got time for today. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed and ask that if you haven't done it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Send us some comments. And most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.